a little louder here better. Yeah. Excellent. That sounds great. So now, I've already selected the sample. We select that sample. You may want to trim your sample, which means get rid of the parts we don't want to have. Maybe too much on it. We can press trim by pressing F2, and we're in trim mode. Here we can see our sample. As you can see, we've got nice big sample with the peaks and the highs and the lows. And this is our start point. This is our loop point if you want to loop the sample. This is our end point. We want the sample to end at. Pretty obvious, right? Okay, here's how that works. I'll turn my data wheel, and you'll see a little line move there right there in front of the sample. See a little line right there, this one right there. See that move right there? We'll turn it closer. Now, if you can't see it that well, what I normally do is I zoom in. So I'll press the zoom button, which is right here. See that button right there? That says zoom, right here. I can zoom in closer. Now, because I am in the start sample, it's going to zoom into the start point. I can zoom out. So now I want to move my cursor a little bit more. You see the sample waveform move. Perfect. See that? It moves just in time with the beat. And I'm moving right over here, just in time to this little, me moving this little dial here, right to the top of this beat. Now I can audition and see how far I'm at. That's great. I can start that sample. Next, we'll get the end. Okay, we're going to find an end point now. We'll move the cursor button down to end. See that? Wow, we're far away. So I want to go back to my zooming back out. See that? Okay, there we go. I'm going to get to the edge where I see a little piece right there. Now I'm going to move the cursor, move the dial, that wheel, and move my wheel way over now. We got so much there because the sample went on a little bit longer than I wanted to go on, actually. Which really wasn't that long, but we're going to move it closer anyway to get it close enough to the edge right there. As you can see, the numbers are increasing, or decreasing rather, as we get closer and closer to the end. We're going to get the proper size that we want to loop up and make sure the sample can actually loop. That's a classic thing we do in hip-hop, is to loop everything today, I guess. Not just hip-hop. You know, you can loop anything you want to loop, what's a vocal or a beat or whatever, even a guitar part. So here, I've got to end I think it's going to be pretty good. I'll go to here and press audition. And see that? It's trying to loop. Here's the reason why. I go to parameters, and here in parameters I already have set for loop. This is my dB level. I can go down to here and set it to reverse. Now audition. See that? And I can also go here and do a one shot. Means I'll play it once, it'll stop. And it stops. It's important to know how to use your sampler. Now, of course, up here we have our level. We can lower the level, and you won't hear much of a sample. Just lower there. A little louder. Louder, 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 louder. See that? We now have a pretty loud sample there. So next, I'm going to go back to my loop mode. I'm going to try and loop this thing up. It's almost skipping it. Too much space on it. But you can see the original key is C60. That means when I play C60 and I move my cursor to track number 9, with the track I recorded to in this pattern, we will hear the sample at C60 at its original key that I recorded at. We can also fine-tune our sample in this window. We can go to here, we can put the sample and pitch it up. See that? And we get right back to where we had it before, which is 0. So now, I like that. That's pretty good. Not too bad. Well, what I want to do now is make sure I can loop it properly. I'm going to go back to my sample trim again. And here in trim, maybe the end isn't so hot. I'll move the end a little closer, and I'll try to loop it now. There's the end. Let me try a little bit more closer in. I'll go to 10, 8, 5, 9, 0. A little bit more in. I'm going to get close enough. see it real close now. Now you can't see, sometimes you'll zoom in. Watch this. We'll zoom in. See that? Look, we're far away. We want to get closer. See how far away we are? And I can really see the sample. You can really see in the waveform as you get closer and closer to the waveform. We're seeing the end of that sample. We're right up on the edge there. Wow. This should be the loop point I want to go to, the exact end I want to be at. So, right now, what I'll do is I'll press audition. I like that. It's not too bad.